Also, conspiracy theory part 1. I have like a bunch about this whole album. All-time low started Corona.
We are opening up the Moshpit. I am one of your rebel hosts, Michelle here, with my partners in pop punk, Brianne and Kelly. Say hello, my fellow emo advocates.
Hello, this is Kelly. Thanks for listening today. We're excited to have you.
Hey guys, we're having fun. I'm sorry, I was just really depressed about this whole Corona nonsense. It's driving me to drink.
Which one are we drinking, Brianne?
Everything is wine and nothing matters.
Hell yeah, that was good. You should become like a pop punk princess. Oh my god, wait, you already are.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So you guys can see the direction the episode is heading in. So we'll just kind of get into it because we've got a lot to get through today. Like an entire freaking album. That is right. I hope you realized my intro, wake up my sunshines and all that jazz, means that it is Wake Up Sunshine Day. So, back in 2012, when Baby Michelle, Baby Brianne, and Baby Kelly were in college, and the Moshpit was still a radio show, we had Don't Panic Day, which was a wonderful day. And it was celebrating the release of All Time Low's album, Don't Panic. So in following with Moshpit traditions, we are now going to dedicate days and / episodes to new albums, so get ready for some Moshpit holidays that are going to be a mouthful, because in the near future we're also going to have Forever and Ever times Infinity Day, and All Distortions Are Intentional Day, and all these bands have...
Right.
I did. I just kind of went for it,
I'm so proud of you. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. But, yeah, so before we get into the track by track of Wake Up Sunshine, we're kind of mixing up our format today, and we're going to go straight into music news. So last time we gave you a whole episode about COVID-19, and as much as we want to get past it, it's here for the time being, and it's a huge part of our lives.
Yeah, starting off with some sad COVID-19 news, so that hopefully we can move towards more happy news later in this episode. But Adam, lead singer of Fountains of Wayne, died at age 52 from complications related to coronavirus. Just, loss of an icon, that's always absolutely terrible. And then in combination with all of the other kind of losses and craziness going on in the music industry, there have been tons of tributes on social media in remembrance of Adam from actors, musicians, other celebrities. And so those tributes are great to see. Something that was kind of interesting when I was reading a little bit more about Adam and Fountains of Wayne was the drummer of Fountains of Wayne had actually tried to convince Adam to not release and record Stacy's Mom, which is obviously, a hit song and kind of what Fountains of Wayne is known for. And so he was trying to convince the band to not put out this song because he knew it was going to be a hit and he knew everyone was going to love it, and that would be kind of what Adam and the band were remembered for.
And he was right.
And he was so right, but he kind of was making the point that Adam should be remembered for so much more, and he had, he's written and performed some really amazing songs. So yeah, just a really sad piece of news there.
Yeah, I mean, Fountains of Wayne, I've heard a couple of their songs aside from Stacy's Mom, but that's what I've always known Fountains of Wayne by. But since hearing the news of Adam Schlesinger, I started listening to more, and my God, I missed out in all these years. And, if you haven't heard his music beyond Stacy's Mom, definitely go check some of that out. because you know why you should go check out that music? Because we're not going to be getting any live music anytime soon. So obviously we all know our concerts are getting canceled and postponed, and you know, we're hoping that hopefully by the summer we'll be able to go see our favorite bands. But you better start preparing yourselves for the possibility of no concerts until fall 2021. Yeah, so there was a New York Times story discussing the impacts of the virus, and live music came up in that aspect, and you know, not just live music, sporting events, all these things that, you know, people go and do. They were talking about it, and there was one oncologist and bioethicist, Zeke Emanuel, who said that, you know, restarting everything's got to be done in stages, and you know, there's certain kinds of things where you know, you can maintain 6-foot distances, and it's more reasonable to start sooner. But large gatherings, conferences, concerts, sporting events, you know, saying they're going to reschedule it for the fall, that's just so unlikely. And he said, realistically, we're talking fall 2021 at the earliest. And now, look, obviously, we all know it's crazy right now, and you know, there's just so much unknown about this, especially we don't know when we're going to have a vaccine, and you know, there might be resurgences come summer, come fall, but you know, things are going to be changing rapidly in the next couple of months. So hopefully, you know, maybe if not by the fall, by the spring. I'm really hoping that I don't have to wait over a year to go to a concert, because I will die. Corona will kill me indirectly.
That was dark. That was dark.
That was real dark. I'm just trying to think, like, I've got 2 concerts? 2 concerts,
I
yeah.
think I have 3, yeah.
I've got, the Hella Mega Tour or whatever, and then I've got...
Same, yeah.
I've got that, which is our genre, but then I have the Backstreet Boys.
Oh my god.
Me too.
Because I'm a 90s chick, so it's fine. But both of those are in the one's in the summer, one's in the fall, and either way, like, I was hoping that it was gonna be saved, but like deep down, I was like, it's probably
yeah,
not.
I don't think Sad Summerfest is gonna go on.
Oh, I know, and I'm sad, but I'm also not sad about it, because the one show I wanted to go to was like the one weekend I couldn't go.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe reschedule it so I can go.
But now I'm like worried that I'm not gonna even be able to go see Neck Deep in December.
Oh yeah, I bought those too. I forgot about those.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's so far out.
I know.
But I guess it looks like we're all going to be getting used to live streams. And speaking of live streams, since they're the new concert for the time being, it is time for another concert etiquette segment.
Shouldn't it be live stream etiquette, considering the fact that we're not going?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I don't want to actually say it because it just makes me sad.
But you know, it's a little bit easier to be a polite human in live streams. So we don't really have much for you on that.
Yeah, if you suck in a live stream, then you are a monster.
Exactly.
Okay, there are totally trolls in the chat when that's sort of like live stream. Oh, is that your thing? Okay, sorry.
That's no, you got it, Kel. That's where I was going with it. Like, we're not, you know, there's very little you can do to be an asshole in a live stream. But, you know, if you're that person that is just, like, copy and pasting the same message over and over again for them to see, like, oh my god, I love you, marry me, or something, like, really annoying, don't do it, because, like, I know you can kind of, like, not look at the live, like, the chat, but, like, it's still there, it's annoying, like, we're there all to see the band, like, yeah, I know, like, they kind of try to interact, but, you know, it's a live stream performance for the most part, unless it's, like, a Q&A, then, you know, I don't know, send messages to your heart's content, whatever. But you know, it's I think it's pretty easy to be a polite concert goer in a live stream. So fair. There we go.
Great advice.
Thanks.
So on that whole note of like not being able to go to concerts and whatnot, it means most of us, I mean, you know, it's not the only way to get merch, but a good amount of us usually get merch when we go to a concert, you know, because no one wants to pay for shipping. Who pays for shipping now these days? Anywho, but because with Amazon Prime, nobody pays for shipping. Real life though. So because of that, Thursday, the band Thursday, revealed a week ago that they would be using their unsold merch and transforming them into masks for people to wear for the whole coronavirus nonsense. And they sold them to fans first, and they sold out the stock that was meant for fans in 9 seconds.
Insane,
9 seconds.
dude.
That's wild. What a great idea.
But because of that, they were able to donate hundreds to, like, hospital workers and all that kind of stuff.
And they sure do need it.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. My boyfriend's sister works at a hospital, so, like, it means so much when people are donating and whatnot, so, yeah.
100%.
But yeah, so the band tweeted, "We have started the process of turning our appropriate stock merchandise from our web store into fabric face masks for the frontline medical workers and essential personnel. Further information how you can help follow later in the week. Stay safe and stay connected. Stay inside." So they have partnered with 2 New Jersey companies, New Jersey Mask Makers and Face Mask Warriors, to help create them. They posted it on Instagram about it, and they're pretty, plain. I mean, they're black with their little insignia on the bottom corner, but I just think it's a great way to be giving back at the same time as, rather than letting this stuff sit in a warehouse somewhere, it's helping the world, get back to normal, hopefully. Every little bit helps. So wholesome.
So wholesome.
All right, on to the next thing. I officially dubbed this COVID-free news. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, we're no more COVID.
Yes.
That, like I said, we want to get away from it, so we had to talk about it, but now we're done.
So, COVID's over. However, it doesn't mean that this is any good news. At least mine. At least the next one. So, the band Camino, who we'll be talking about later because they are featured on All Time Low's new album, have recently parted ways with their bass player due to sexual misconduct allegations. Basically, they posted on social media like, "Oh, we're parting ways for personal reasons, blah, blah, blah," and this kind of preempted a bunch of fans to come forward and talk about how this guy treated them poorly and all different stories. There's one accusation that you can find on the internet. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it just for trigger reasons. So on Twitter, the bassist posted one of those, stereotypical, "I'm famous, so I'm going to screenshot my notes and then post something rather than just typing it because whatever." So he said, what a douche. Kind of. He said, "First off, there is nothing that I can put into words to explain how sorry I am for my actions, but I will try. To those I have hurt, I am sorry. You are valid, you matter, and the way I have treated you will not define you. I fully accept all blame, and that is deserved for what I have done. I am truly sorry. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I am currently in therapy for issues that led to my mistakes, as well as handling the fallout that I have caused. Please respect my privacy while I work through this and attempt to come out of this a better man."
Congratulations, bro. You did the bare minimum.
Yeah, it's one of those things, of course you always want someone to try to, realize where their issues are and realize where they did wrong, but, Jesus, this is the most, textbook, I screwed up in, whatever sexual misconduct would be, groping, etc. It's literally a copy and paste of fill in your discretion here kind of form. There's no heart and soul into that.
Yeah, legit. I'm always for people realizing their mistakes and trying to do right by the people they hurt and whatever, but it's so soon. I don't give a fuck what you're saying, bro. Talk to me in a couple of years. Let's see how you've changed. Because, it upsets me because, there's so many young, impressionable people that look up to these bands, and for you to use that admiration as a manipulation tactic is just so fucking evil that, like I said, if you change, good for you, I'll accept that, but God, you're such a piece of shit.
The worst thing is that it's not just to our genre. That is literally the most textbook thing, is that anyone, man, woman, XYZ, using their position of power and, people looking up to them in their advantage to, whether it be do something horrible like this or to, get what they want, whether it be actual sexual favors or, you know, like money or anything. It's just, it's the shittiest parts of humanity.
I think how the band reacted was good. Like, I mean, they posted that, I think I was reading, within like hours of,
they
hearing
did
of this.
They didn't even take a day.
No.
That is how bands should react.
I mean, that's really good to hear. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, you have to take any allegation with a grain of salt, and obviously, you know, everybody deserves the right to be heard, but, you know, most of the time, the majority of the time, it is what it is, and I think the fact that the band believed this fan, and they took the right action is, you know, very commendable. Makes me like them even more now. And I never listened to them before they were on the new All Time Low album. But speaking of shitty bands, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I don't dislike 5 Seconds of Summer, who I'm going to talk about now. But,
I like them.
I know. I kind of like them too. I'm just talking shit because, you know, they were a little bit more pop punk. Now they're just kind of pop, and, you know, they're not.
That's fair.
They're just a little too bubblegum for my liking.
They're leaning way too much more toward One Direction than leaning towards like All Time Low, like they said there was their inspiration.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But so I don't know. There was just all this mishigas about that they were supposed to have like the #1 spot on the Billboard charts, and their fans were freaking out because apparently there was a shipping error for their latest album, so the sales numbers appeared lower, and so the drummer Ashton was like, you know, talking about it and telling fans what they're proud of what they accomplished, and, you know, they're trying to fix it and whatever. I'm like, honestly, dude, what does it even matter? You have a huge fan base. You sold a shit ton. Who cares if you're #1 on Billboard? Does it actually affect you? No, because you know what? You're successful as fuck, so get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. That is my take on it. And all the 5 Seconds of Summer stands are gonna come for me.
Oh, yeah?
Here's the thing, is I completely understand when you work so hard on something and then have it, like, blow up in your face, like, especially for something as stupid as shipping, like, and for something you literally can't control. So I understand working your ass off on something for, especially an album, months and months and months, and then have something outside your control, like COVID-19, fucking up the postal system, to, you know, like, delay everything. And, like, the Billboard album, or the Billboard charts, that's annoying, because, like, who cares about the like, yeah, it's a nice little trophy you can put on your shelf, but whatever. When it comes right down to it, I think it's more important that, like, fans aren't pissed about stuff. Like, All Time Low, they openly, during their live stream the day that their album was released, was talking about, like, we know some of the pre-orders are shipping late, we're really sorry, blah blah blah. And they, like, if you buy the physical album, which I didn't end up doing, but they also sent, I think they sent everyone the digital download as long as they had bought the album in some form. Maybe I have to check that. We'll fact check that, and sure, we'll let you know. Either way, they were cognizant of it, and they, like, apologized rather than being like, meh, our charts. That I understand being annoying, but, like, you have to give them a little bit of slack of being annoyed.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like, I'm just messing, but it really, I don't know, that kind of shit seems inconsequential to me, but it showed up and on Alternative Press's site, and I was like, why? They're not even, like, alternative at this point. They are legitimately the definition of pop.
True.
So that's where I'm at with that. But, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. In other news, Census Fail is making a pump. Clearly, the wine is apparently... I had, like, literally 3 sips of wine, and I can't say punk. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, though. I heard census, like the census, like the thing we all have to fill out for the government.
Like the town census. Okay.
Fail, and I'm like, why are we talking about the census? What just happened?
Ooh, this is going downhill so fast.
This is why we don't drink wine during recording.
All right, I'm going to just restart here. We're going to just rewind. In other news, Census Fail is making a classic punk and emo covers record.
Yeah,
they
buddy.
are I know. So I'm not like a huge Census Fail listener. This is actually sparking me to maybe listen to a little bit more of their music, but I feel like this idea in general is killer. I feel like cover albums in general are always so fun, and I think it's a good way to expand your listener base too, because then you get all of these listeners that want to hear your cover to a band song that they like. So that's how it's affecting me, because I don't listen to them that often, but I am excited to hear some of their covers.
Yeah, I haven't been an avid listener of Census Fail for years. I've never been able to say their name, by the way. I always add an extra S somewhere. But no, they're from Jersey, actually, and so that's part of the reason why I grew up on them a little bit. But like Calling All Cars was one of my like.
Oh my god, yes! It was one of those things. I literally was like, why do I know that name? Like Census Fail. I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh shit! I have 3 songs on my phone from them, and I'm like, all of these are fucking bangers.
You're like, oh yeah, I actually, you know what? I did like them.
I did like them. It's probably, I saw them at Warped Tour one year or something, and I like wrote down their name and I looked up like a couple songs. That's probably what ended up happening.
But no, they're a great band, and I'm really looking forward to a cover album from them, because I'm sure they'll have like great takes on some classics. So it's going to be a good one for sure.
So there's a couple like cliff notes under the same heading. So Hayley Williams, we all know that the lead singer of Paramore has decided to go solo for now. I don't know if it's for now or if it's for good, but she's released a couple different singles. One currently being Over Yet, I think was the name of it.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Was the name. Yes, it was Over Yet.
So almost all of the songs that she has released, I've been very much like, these are interesting. Like, most of them don't have the standard song structure with like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. So it's weird to listen to. Like, they're not bad, but all of them I'm just like, I don't know if I can get into this. This is probably the closest one that I've gotten into, like, okay, I kind of can get into this guy. Like, it's not like Paramore level good. Like, I mean, obviously they evolve, but it's just the lyrics that are weird. Like, the melody's great, but the lyrics I'm just like,
Yeah, and I know you, all of us were, because we're not like kind of musically gifted, where we relate to lyrics more. So that's obviously important for you. But, the previous song, I wasn't really feeling the previous single she released. But this one I was really digging. It gave me the 80s vibe that they kind of had going, Paramore had going in After Laughter. Honestly, you know what it made me think of? Cyndi Lauper. That's who I was thinking the entire time I was listening to that. Yeah.
I can see that.
Major Cyndi Lauper vibes.
All right, y'all. You out there in the world, you guys listen to the song. You sound off on our social media of what you guys think of her new stuff. At the Moshpit Pod on
Facebook and Instagram, and at Moshpit Pod on Twitter.
There we go. I need to learn our social handles. It's really bad. Also under the Hayley Williams umbrella, recently she posted on her Instagram story her, I don't know if you can call it covering, it's her singing along with the Used crap, what was the name of the song?
Taste of Ink.
I can hear it. The Taste of Ink. I'm like, I can hear it in my head, like, the whole thing, which is ironic because I actually related part of All Time Low's album to this same song. So there's that.
Ooh.
I do.
Teasers.
So there's teasers.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Right. Anyway, so she, on her Instagram story, posted little snippets of her singing along with it, and I closed the goddamn article. Basically, it was, like, saying something about, like, the caption was for the guy who says I don't sound like my old self or something, like, or misses my old stuff or something like that. And it's her just, like, rocking out in the mirror, taking a selfie video of her singing along with the song, which, like, I mean, I'm down with. It was cool.
Yeah, no, I loved it. It was so cute. She's fucking adorable.
I love her. I just want to be her friend. Anyways, and then so the final note under this umbrella is that she actually recently, well, I don't know how recently it was. I mean, she might have a better idea about when it was released.
The Good Die Young? Oh, that was a couple years back, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was that old. Shit. Okay. Oh, 2016. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 4-year anniversary. That's what it is.
Oh, God. Okay, well, it's been 4 years since Hayley Williams released the Good Die Young, a.k.a. hair dye. It's like overtone, kind of, basically, where you, like, put it in your hair and you can wash it out kind of deal, right? Or is it, like, legit hair dye?
There's legit dye, there's a semi-permanent dye, and the poser paste, which I bought, and we're going to play with that the next couple of weeks while I'm in quarantine, and, you know, I don't have to be professional at a job, even though I don't think my job would care, but, you know, you try to look appropriate.
So along with that whole situation, since its launch, the band has, the brand, God, the words.
Take the wine away from her.
I haven't even finished my first glass. This is a problem. Since its launch, the brand has been worn by a number of musicians, including Lights, Troye Sivan. I'm skipping over that one because it says potentially. 21 Pilots drummer has also worn it. He's a brand ambassador. Josh Dunn is a brand ambassador for it, so that's fun. But yeah, so I feel like that's a fun little tidbit about the fact that she's had this now for 4 years, and apparently I live under a rock. I didn't know that.
Well, we knew that, Brie.
I know. We all know that Brianne doesn't know things.
Well, for anybody out there who hasn't tried Good Die Young, like I said, I mean, I'm not going to do the permanent dye, because I've just fucked up my hair recently, and my hair can't take any more bleaching and dye, so I'm going to do the poser paste, and I will, give some feedback. It's really cute and exciting, all the colors, so I'm really stoked to do it.
We'll check back in with Michelle in coming episodes to see how her hair turns out.
We'll also have
very exciting
posts on social.
Again, check us out at the Moshpit Pod on Facebook and Instagram, and you might see some pictures.
Woo!
Woo!
All right. Another piece of music news for you. Neck Deep has released their next single off of All Distortions Are Intentional, and it's called When You Know. And the song is sort of a classic punk love song. I would maybe categorize that as. But along with the release of the song, they also released a lyric video with fan-submitted videos that we talked about on the last episode. The video came out really cool. Definitely go check it out. Within the video, there were tons of cameos from some other band members that you may know. And Ben Barlow himself, the lead singer of Neck Deep, was also in it a little bit, along with Pierre from Simple Plan, Derek and Ryan from State Champs, the lead singer Jake from Between You and Me, and Alex Costello from Rome were also all in the video, along with a lot of cameos from Cute Pets and Babies. So definitely check out that lyric video.
Yeah, and in terms of the song, I'm really digging it. It's not the old kind of Neck Deep, like stuff off of Life's Not Out to Get You.
Right.
It's a little bit more of the Peace and the Panic vibes, but I still dig it, and I'm looking forward to the album for sure. And along with that, more new music to end on a happy note. New Found Glory released a new song as well, and I am loving it. And it was the song is Shook by Your Shaved Head, which is so punk. I think I've been saying that about this entire album, and all the singles that have been released so far. But yeah, no, they're all these singles are definitely very old school, New Found Glory. You really get Jordan's vocals as the kind of centerpiece for them, and I honestly feel like I'm listening to Sticks and Stones, and it's just literally bringing me back to like it back in the day, and I'm just super stoked for this. I don't think I can say stoked enough times. But yeah, it's gonna be incredible, and I'm looking forward. We just talked about 2 new release songs, and I'm looking forward to Forever and Ever Times Infinity Day. I did it that time. Again, I'm so proud of myself. And then all distortions are intentional day. Those days are going to be tons of fun. And Brianne's going to learn some new music.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
Cheers
What was it,
to
Punk
that.
Grandma? What's my name now?
The Scene Grandma?
Scene Grandma. I thought it was Punk Rock. See,
Yes.
I'm already forgetting, guys,
yes,
just
yes,
like a
yes.
grandma should. Hey.
Cheers to the Scene Grandma. And cheers to Wake Up Sunshine.
Hey.
Yeah. It is time for Wake Up Sunshine, track by track, Moshpit style. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we
You
can
know-
actually swear now versus like the first album that we did a Don't Panic Day. We were on actual college radio, so we couldn't
I
swear.
know. We had to use the dump button so many times.
So many times. But we've all been looking forward to this. We're all super excited about it. We've been binging, if you can apply that word to an album, but we have been. All of Wake Up Sunshine. I've listened to it so many times. And, you know, we've gone over it a bit already. You know, we had the singles come out. It's their 8th album. They're all returning from side projects. Their last release was Last Young Renegade in 2017, as I've mentioned 1,000 times because it was so long ago. And so we've all been starved for new music. So we, you know, devoured this. And we're going to go in order. So we're going to start off with Some Kind of Disaster.
And may I start by saying, what a fucking opening song. This is just like an anthem. We've talked about this song a decent amount. It was their first single off of Wake Up Sunshine. So when this came out, we obviously all freaked out and were very, very excited. But I feel like this one has remained one of my favorites even after listening to the whole entire album.
Cal, would you say it matured like a fine wine?
You know, that's a very good take. I would maybe say that, or like a nice cheese even, you know, one of those. So Some Kind of Disaster, I definitely get like an anthem feel from it. And even like it, my sister actually mentioned this, kind of felt like old school Green Day vibe a little bit. And listening back, I could see where she was coming from on that. But I think the lyrics like connected really well to me, and I really like the message of the song, and the guitar and drums on the verses were like so catchy, like you just want to scream this song all day long.
So yeah, Kelly, like you said, you can really relate to it, but you know, when we talked about it before, I think it was Brie that said it's not only relevant in terms of the band and, you know, the lyrics, like, you know, it's my fault. What are the lyrics?
It's all my fault.
Yeah. It's all my fault.
I'm still the one you want.
Exactly. But, you know, it's also on an individual level, like you can kind of relate to it in a relationship type way. And that's kind of the great thing about a song like this, because, you know, in its anthemicness, if that's a word, it's it has so many interpretations that it makes it just like kind of an all-around hit.
Totally. Yep, that's how I felt too.
The only additional notes I'm going to add is that this song is amazing when you're in the car and you want to scream. And the bridge, I think that whole like lyric part is so fucking catchy and it hits home like so hard. And it reminds me, like, don't get me wrong, All Time Low has like some of the greatest bridges in our genre, but especially in this album. But this one kind of rivals oh my god, is it JC Ray? No, we were talking about it with the tattoos. The
Yeah, JC Ray.
I swear I'm not a liar. I never told a
JC
lie,
Ray.
and that makes me a liar. Okay, good. Last time I fucked that up and I called it another song.
Yeah, you got it wrong last time. Not this time. You got it. You learned your lesson.
Okay. Yay. It rivals that in like just the creative like verbiage they use and everything. I don't know. It was a good song. Good song.
Yeah, good song. Good song.
All right. Has everyone concluded their Some Kind of Disaster
Yes.
conversation? Cool.
Yes.
On to the next one. We are on to Sleeping In. This one, until the actual album came out, was like my favorite. I was like, there's nothing that's gonna top this. It's the best. There is one that ended up topping it. but we'll save that for later. I personally thought about it, that the weekend it came out was the same weekend that one of my friends was getting married, and anytime I hear it, all I can think of is that weekend where Slayton, my boyfriend, he drove me and him to their like welcome party the night before, and I got drunk, and he just kept letting me put the song on repeat. I swear in a 15-minute drive, we listened to it the entire time over and over again, so that way I could learn the lyrics. Now, he sucks at learning lyrics, and he learned them faster than I did. I was a little impaired, so obviously that gives him a little bit of
you were at a disadvantage, yeah.
That's fair. I also, I love the fact that this whole song's chorus, the wanna listen to Britney whole situation, is literally based off of Jack has a Britney Spears sweatshirt. Yeah. And that's how they talked about it in the live stream the day the album was released, about how like, oh, that's what inspired the song. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Because
I love that.
Britney Spears. Also, Conspiracy Theory Part 1. I have like a bunch about this whole album. All Time Low started Corona, because the lyrics.
Oh, I agree.
Haven't left your place in days. Postmates and dirty laundry. If that does not describe our current life right now, I don't know what the fuck does.
Oh, they predicted it. They predicted it.
They knew, and I can't. So there's that. Oh, also the drum solo in the bridge is fucking insane.
Amazing.
On All Time Low's Instagram, they posted a video of the entire song, just drums, like him performing. Yeah. But like the oh my god, the bridge is just so great with the
yes.
Amazing.
Seeing that playthrough on Instagram made me since we're in quarantine, why not pick up a new skill? I actually I bought on Amazon a pair of practice pads and drumsticks, and I'm looking at like videos and stuff online.
Oh my god,
so,
I love it.
Amazing.
It's like the first step, and if I can really feel like I'm getting the hang of it, I might get a cheap drum kit and continue to practice.
Your family will hate you.
Oh, absolutely.
I love
it's
it.
fine. They hate
I'm
me
so
already.
excited.
Well, so Brie, I completely agree with you. Like, this song for me was, there's tons of dope songs on the album, but and better songs, honestly, even. But for me, this one was one of the ones that hit me the hardest, I think. I mean, me and Brie have said before, we grew up with All Time Low, and we had our big moments defined by their music, and this is my big moment song for me. I've definitely kind of grown into more of an adult since my early days with All Time Low. Jobs, debt, responsibilities, all that nonsense.
All the stuff that crushes your soul.
Exactly. And life can be stressful, but this song, like, taking that time to be in those happy moments where the pressure's off and you've called out of work, you're staying home and sleeping in, and I'm in a happy and healthy relationship for the first time in years and years and years. And those moments, where we don't sleep but sleep in are the best, and they make everything else in life not matter. And that's why I think for me this is despite the rest of the album being fantastic, this is still one of the better songs for me, because it's a big moment song.
Great.
Yeah.
It really coincides with like where I think all of our lives are right now. We're both in, or all three of us are in happy, functioning relationships versus like, I mean, Kelly's been in a functioning relationship forever, versus me and Michelle have gone through our share of frogs, if you will, before we
hot messes.
Yeah.
Too, but I was trying to be polite, but
no need for that. Yeah, this is just an absolute banger of a song. Like, plus it's a banger in general, but like when you can connect to a song in that way, like I think we all do, it just makes it like that much better. But it's just like the carefree, I guess, like feeling of the song is just I think what I needed right now. And one of the things that made it even better, like when I first heard it, I didn't love it, I think, as much as you both did, because I didn't know the words. And like one of my favorite things is like singing along to songs, and like I couldn't fucking do it. Like I couldn't do it because I didn't know the words. And so one of the best moments was when I like finally learned every word to the song, and I could just like sing it and yell it, and it just is that perfect like windows down song once you know all the words and can actually sing it.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was really awesome. And then this was also the song where I noticed like the first Easter egg of the album. And so Alex kind of talked about this, but throughout the album, there's like kind of Easter eggs hinting back to some of All Time Low's older or past albums. So obviously Postmates and Dirty Laundry, referring back to their single off of Last Young Renegade. So I love stuff like that. It makes it more interesting and it brings you back to some of their old stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit of a full circle thing. Like, I caught a few of them, but I didn't really listen through the album for those Easter eggs. I might have to after this.
Yeah, it's fun.
I have a couple of them written down where I'm like, I remember
Same.
this.
Yeah. All right, on to track number 3 then. Getaway Green is number 3 on the album. And this was also one of the pre-release songs. And this one was definitely kind of a comeback song for me. I didn't love it when it came out because it followed Some Kind of Disaster and Sleeping In, which were like, we were blown away. Blown away by those two. Literally. So this one, like, when it was first released, I was like a little bit iffy about it, but this one is one of the ones that has completely made a turnaround for me and is like, I feel like I'm going to say this the whole time, but like is one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, but this is like definitely risen up on the list for me. It's just like, I just like it, I think, way more than I did before. And
that's literally
the intro
note that I have in mind.
You too?
I don't need to talk anymore. Yep, that's all.
It's like, yeah, it really like just, I feel like because it fits into the flow of the album so well. And it's like, I mean, for me, the intro was just like absolutely killer. I could listen to that guitar riff like on repeat for the rest of my life. Like it was just amazing. But I mean, the message is also like, I really like the message of this one, like having someone that's your escape and like that helps you get away from like the mundane day-to-day life. And I think that message actually connects a lot with some of the other songs that we'll talk about later, which I'll connect back to that.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly, I agree with everything you said, and especially on that opening riff. It really gets me going. I mean, I'm like ready to go 95, windows down, stereo blasting, belting out that Weekend Wonderful, Fade Away Youth, Summer Symphony. I'm ready, dude. Like
ready.
But you know, for me, I don't know, Some Kind of Disaster and Sleeping In just hit me so much more, I think, originally. So Getaway Green, I think I ended up liking it more than Some Kind of Disaster after a couple listens through, but originally I think Getaway Green was number 3 for me. But it's a great song, and you know, I was talking about those big moments, and it's definitely that kind of relatable song almost for me. I mean, I know it has its like moments where it's like almost a little bit of talking about toxic stuff. I think that it was this one that Alex was talking about where toxic people, or I don't remember on the track by track that he said, but yeah, that's kind of how I felt about Getaway Green. Just ready to rock.
Seeing that music video, like, straight up, the only thing I need in this life is to see that song perform live.
I know.
Like, it's one of those things, like, I think about the music that they usually play at the concerts and whatnot, and there's, like, a handful of songs where I'm like, I love this song, but I know it's not a live performance song. This is like the quintessential All Time Low live performance song, which is obvious because, I mean, that's the music videos, them performing at concerts, but I am jealous as fuck of all the people who've actually heard it live.
I know.
I know, Michelle, just shut up.
Yeah.
I know, but so the thing is, I'm like 99% certain I saw it live, but I don't remember.
Oh God.
But I think it was because
makes it worse. So shut up.
No, but it was because, you know, like they were playing. I'm fairly certain at the Nothing Personal 10-year anniversary, and I think they were like, "Oh, you guys want to hear the song?" And they were like, "Yeah," but you know, I didn't know the song, so it didn't like stick in my head.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I wasn't able to like be like, "Oh, this was the song I heard," you know, 5 months ago. So,
moving on to track number 4, Melancholy Kaleidoscope, the most kind of interestingly named song, I guess, on the album. Literally, or like in their history.
Literally, my notes first thing it says they're just trying to be like Fall Out Boy and Panic with their long titles. It's just trying to be awkward and cumbersome, and they can't, like, no one's gonna be able to spell out the name Melancholy Kaleidoscope. I will give you $10.
I spelled it wrong on my notes.
Guys, it's really not that difficult.
I wrote kale
Shut
and
up,
then
Michelle!
just scribbled.
Like, they're just trying to, they're like, when I'm trying to type it, I have to be like, okay, I spelled that right, okay. It's not second nature, like sleeping in, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I suppose.
I would agree.
thank you,
I would agree with that. Definitely the naming is, I mean, like, that phrase in general, kind of a little bit cumbersome.
So accurate to the song, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah. I think this was also one of my early favorites from, I mean, I like literally said that about every single song, but one of my,
Well,
when this one was released,
so...
I know. When this one was released early, I definitely really liked it. Mostly I loved it because of the message, and I talked about this in one of our previous episodes, but the whole like juxtaposition of like Alex's mindset when he was recording this song and trying to write this song, where he was talking about, you know, not wanting to sing a happy song, but kind of having to sing a happy song. And listening even more to the lyrics, like the line that says, shake things up and get the picture in your head right. The more I thought about that, I'm like, it's a fucking kaleidoscope. Like, there is no right picture. And that just, like, hit me for some reason. And I was like, there's, like, no way you can shake things to, like, get the kaleidoscope to be the right picture. And that just made me, yeah, like, nothing's right. And,
Kelly,
like, right, what is right and wrong? Like, who knows? So
Kelly,
that kind of got me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Like, it was one of those things, as you were saying it, I was just like, whoa.
She literally
I'm right,
blew my
right?
mind.
I'm right.
Like, a little bit.
On a completely different note, All Time Low definitely 100% needs to brand and sell kaleidoscopes.
Yes.
Because I would like to have one.
Yes, I 100% agree.
I concur.
Do you know how soothing that would be, like, during a stressful work day? Just, you know, I just don't want to listen to my boss anymore, so I'm just, like, with my kaleidoscope.
Right? Exactly.
So, this song, I think I said it during the last episode when we talked about these songs, was that it wasn't bad, it just wasn't like the bangers that the other ones were. Now, in all honesty, Kelly, I'm going to give you so many props for this. The way you described it in our episode we discussed them, I went back and re-listened to it a couple times, and the lyrics hit me way more because I've gone through a lot of those, like, grin and bear it, life is shitty, but fake it till you make it kind of situations, and that's what this song is. And, like, when I first moved to Florida, it was horrible for the first, like, year of me living here, but I didn't want to let, like, my family, my friends, like, know, like, oh shit, I don't know if I made the right decision. And so it was me putting on that smiley face, and this song, like, thinking about it in that context, like, really hit home. So, like, Michelle and I have said about 1,000 times over, their songs somehow identify with huge moments in our lives. Like, that kind of hit me really hard for that one. So I like the song way more now that I've listened to it a bunch of times through than I did when it first came out.
Brianne, get the fuck out of my brain, because I pretty much feel the exact same way about it. I really wasn't fair to this song the first run around, because I think I was expecting it to be like a single level banger because it was released as a single, but it was really never meant to be.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
single,
yeah. So as part of the whole album, it just sits much better with me. But, you know, and like you said about what Kelly said, he said, she said, whatever. No, you know, listening to it over again, I really didn't realize right away exactly how relatable it was, you know, not only in terms of, like, you know, yeah, being forced to be on when you're just like, nah, fuck this. You know, it's the I can't be 100 because I'm only giving 95, or even sometimes less, because life's hard.
Most of the time it's less.
Exactly, but, you know, it's also in terms of, like, emotions and music, and, like, for me, sometimes, you know, when I feel shitty and I want to feel better, and I want to listen to jams to, like, get my mood better, that'll get me hyped, but sometimes I just really need to succumb to that emo side and feel sad so I can feel better. Does that make
Do you
sense?
know how many times I've listened to music that I knew that was gonna make me cry, that would self-soothe? Like, you get into that mood of like, okay, I'm gonna listen to like 20 minutes of sad songs, I'm gonna cry it out, I'm gonna feel fucking great, versus like trying to listen to all these happy songs for like 2 hours and being like, I
whatever.
feel okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, Kelly, you mentioned this, and I think in our previous episode, you were absolutely right. That bridge is off
oh my god,
the chain.
It's fucking awesome.
It's fantastic.
That drop.
But so yeah, those are my thoughts on my melancholy scope. Okay, we're skipping that.
Great job.
Yeah.
Melikaliki Maka or whatever.
Anywho, on to the next track, because I don't want to hear you guys try to pronounce that again. So track number 5 is Trouble Is. This song, it reminds me so much of college Brianne, like trying to break up with you know who. We both know who. Yeah. So it's just one of those songs that it makes you really think about like how this toxic relationship of like I don't want this, but at the same time you got this crazy ass hold of me, and that just kind of hit real hard home with me. Also, the screaming in the background, like that in the background, like really into it, especially with like it's not like this really hard hitting song like musically, and yet they have like the screaming in the background, so I like that juxtaposition. And
we should have a counter of how many times we all say juxtaposition.
Anyway, so then the opening drums though, and like the opening verse reminds me so much of Blink.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, that's what I was gonna say. Blink, and even Simple Creatures. Simple Creatures too, I feel like had a big influence on that sound too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Alex coming back off of Simple Creatures definitely had an influence on the direction of this album.
Yeah,
sure.
like that fade out and echoey kind of sound of the production was so Simple Creatures-esque, I thought. And even like Blink, maybe like Neighborhoods era or something.
Ugh. Sorry, I don't like Neighborhoods.
I love that shit. We'll talk about that another day.
I think I liked a couple of songs off Neighborhoods, but it was just not a great one for me.
We digress.
Yes, we digressed.
One more thought. They talked about like experimenting with different time signatures on this one.
Oh, this is the one that they have like a time signature that's not real.
That they just literally made it up. They were like 13/8 or something. That's not a thing. But I kind of listened back to try to figure out what they were talking about, and I could tell the verses were like in definitely like a different time signature for them, and I could see how it would be like kind of hard to write around that, but I think it really worked.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm a fan of it, but when we had previously discussed these first 5 songs, I think Trouble Is, I rated it higher than Melancholy Kaleidoscope, and I think I like it less than Melancholy Kaleidoscope. And it's, I think, because kind of what Brie said, she related it to college Brianne, I related it to college Michelle, and we all know why. Because we've all had shitty exes, and that's what it is. I related it to past Michelle, and her heartbreaks hard. And, not only romantic heartbreaks, but platonic ones, too, Because, there were...
Like losing friends and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There are a few times in my life where, the song would have been, like, high-key my go-to on the album. But, as I've listened to the rest of it, the other songs, like, far exceed this. And, the whole, like, Trouble Is You're a Part of Me is very relatable even now, though, because... even those people that aren't in your life anymore, they still contribute to who you are. But fuck that shit about Trouble Is I Don't Want to Let Go, because you know what? Eventually, you do let go. I mean, I've been looking at our analytics a lot, and we have quite a few younger listeners, and for those of you who haven't gone through that, one real heartbreak yet, whether romantically or platonically, So, you may not want to let it go, but at some point you do without even realizing. It may take 2 minutes, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, but it happens. You can get over someone, but they can still be a part of you. It fits. It's not mutually exclusive,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next track, which is the title track, is Wake Up Sunshine. And, as I listened to, once the album came out, I listened to the first 5 songs, but I already heard them. So I was really kind of getting myself amped up for this song. And you know what it made me think of? Well, first of all, the Recess movie. But it's because of the song that was in the credits, which is Dancing in the Streets. And,
wait, by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Is it Earth, Wind, and Fire? I don't know. Calling out around the world. Yeah.
I'm almost positive it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm going to do a quick search, but yeah, I'm like 95% positive.
But so I actually, listened to Dancing in the Streets, and my point maybe doesn't stand as well as I thought it did, but it still has, like,
what the fuck?
No, but it still has, like, the same kind of almost groovy vibes in the first verse. I don't know if that makes sense, but, I mean, it feels like it could be this theme song to, like, a coming-of-age series of a girl in the 60s or 70s.
So, it's not Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's Martha and the Vandellas. However, Earth, Wind, and Fire is a song Dancing in the Moonlight, so that's where I fucked that up.
There it is.
I'm not... So we're gonna give me, like, a D in that, not an F.
Yeah, but, anyway... I actually was driving when I first heard it, and I had to, in that moment, send Brianne and Kelly a voice message as soon as I heard it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Which I will insert right now. Guys, I wish I had been recording my reactions, because I just got through the first 5 songs, and now I'm listening to Wake Up Sunshine. I had to pause, because I was just like, I was like bopping a little bit to the beginning, and then as soon as it hit Wake Up Sunshine, I felt the biggest smile cross my face, and then when I felt that, I started laughing because it was just the reaction to it, and oh my god, it was a good moment. Cool. But yeah, so that's kind of how I felt about it in the moment. It was super raw, and overall for me, it was just a really wholesome song with a great message, and it's the kind of music that really fills you up. And it's another one that I'm gonna be blasting windows down this summer if we are allowed to leave our homes.
I mean, you can leave your home, you just can't leave your car.
Yeah, there you go.
Very true. I felt kind of the same about this song. The first time I heard the opening verse with the lyrics, "Are you living well in a living hell?" I just, like, my life stopped.
Conspiracy Theory Part 2.
Oh my god, predicting quarantine much? Like, that's like our life right now. We're in a living hell,
Part
like
2.
All of us. And that like made this song hit even harder. It's like all about self-love and like making sure you're worthwhile, and that hits so hard with that line in the opening verse.
Totally. 100%.
The song hit really home for me just because we all know I work in the media, and just today's political climate and like the whole like cancel culture of like you do one bad thing and you're like fucked. Like, I mean, there's obviously different levels of it, but like when someone says something stupid and they try to apologize, like that's one thing versus like what's his face from the band Camino, like yeah, he's allowed to be canceled, versus like people who are like, well, I have privilege and blah. But in that kind of in the world we live in right now, this song is so descriptive of that. Like the whole like it just talks about how like everyone's so
like outrage and outrageous behavior. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. That was the lyric I was looking for, but I was trying to stall.
Yes, I got you.
So that whole thing, like, I feel like it hits so hard, like, home, especially because that's literally all I think about is just the stupid shit that goes on in our world. But the difference is that, like, I feel like the verses are talking about, like, well, the world's fucked, but then in the chorus, it's very much like the world sucks, but don't forget, someone loves you, like, there are good things in this world, like, you have a right to be happy, yada, yada, yada. So that's kind of, like, it's a roller coaster, if you feel, of emotions, just of like we're all fucked. Oh wow, no, it's okay. That was my take on the whole situation. So we're on to track number 7 now, and I would just like to point out the song is called Monsters featuring Blackbear, And if we rewind the tape real quick, we'll remember that I'm pretty sure I'm the one who said that I was most excited about hearing this song. Real quick check. And then the other song that I'm super pumped about is Monsters featuring Blackbear. I'm very excited about that one. Right. So, this song is an absolute fucking bop. Like, favorite song on the album. I don't care what anyone says. At me if you need to. I don't have a Twitter anymore, so at me all you want. You're not gonna find me.
Add her at the Moshpit Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
Good job, Mish. So, this is the type of all-time low song I didn't realize I needed. Like, the dark, like, beats and just everything. It was one of those things, like, it's not stereotypical all-time low, but it was so fucking good. Like, oh my god. All of the swearing in it, too, like, gives me life. Like, the,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They dropped the F-bomb in literally multiple times a chorus.
My Jersey girl is, like, thriving with this song.
Oh, yeah, my masshole inside is just like, yes. But I also think that this song with the crossover with Blackbear would be a great, like, I don't want to say top 40, but you know what I mean? Like, a great hits song. Like, All Time Low's had a couple on the radio, and I feel like this one would be a great one with it, other than the fact they dropped the F-bomb every other, line. So, I'd be interested to see how they would re-record it. I mean, obviously, you could say, like, I don't mind if you mess up my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, something
but
like
I think,
that.
Wouldn't it be fine on Sirius radio?
No, they don't say fuck.
Oh,
They'll
they
say
don't? Okay.
bitch
I
and
don't know.
shit, but they won't say fuck.
I don't know shit.
Because there's a song called, the reason why is because one of my favorite songs right now is Hot Girl Bummer, and it literally, the chorus goes, fuck you, and you, and you, and they cut out the fuck part.
I see.
Anywho, so also...
No fucking on Sirius.
I know. Also, this song, All Time Low, has posted on their Instagram recently about how they're doing the quote-unquote Monsters Challenge, where you take one breath and you hit the first 8 bars of Blackbear's rap, which we are going to be posting soon of our version. Which I will say openly that, like, I know the cadence and I've got about 2 or 3 lines down, but, like, if I have the words in front of me, I can do it. It's just, I fuck up way too easily if I don't have the words in front of me.
We are not rappers.
Meanwhile, Michelle knows everything.
I nailed it. I don't know about you guys, but I should start a rapping career.
Good
Little
luck.
punk.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the support. Silence, crickets.
Yeah, the song is just a banger. I got a little bit of, like, Fall Out Boy vibes from it for some reason.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
I'm not sure why. Maybe it was so what I mean, aside from the fact that this was, like, All Time Low's first, like, entrance into hip hop and, like, first rap feature, one of the other things that really stood out to me on this song was the amount of bass. Like, the bass in this song was
so
fucking
great.
killer.
Mwah,
It was
kiss.
just, oh my god, it was just top notch. I just, like, could not stop moving to, like, the beat of Zach's bass. Like, I just couldn't stop. So that was really awesome.
I can
And
never
then-
stop moving to the beat of Zach's bass.
Well,
you know what I
clearly,
mean.
but even more so in Monsters.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I noticed was in Sleeping In, they talked about lazy luxury, and then in Monsters, it turns into lonely luxury. So, and, like, I feel like Monsters and Pretty Venom, the next song, are kind of like a turning point a little bit in, like, in the album.
Totally
And
agree.
that was one of the things that kind of made me think about the flow of the album a little bit. One thing I'll say that I wish was, like, a little bit different about the song, the Blackbear feature was, like, so perfect that I just wish he was in more of it. Like, it just felt like he was, like, there for a second and then he was gone. I wish he was on the following chorus or something.
I agree.
I feel like that would have made it
Totally
feel more
agree.
complete.
Yes, absolutely. Though, I have to say, I was obsessed with it initially from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. It was so good that I needed more. And I mean, I sent you guys another voice message about this one. Oh my god. I just listened to Monsters. First of all, the first 30 seconds I had chills down my back the entire time. I don't know why. And then the rap, it was just, I was in the car. I am in the car, and I went, yes, King, yes. And it gave me a very, I don't know why, because I don't really think he sounds like him, but it gave me a very like Modest Yahoo vibe, but it was just so well done, because it fits so well into the song. It wasn't just like a kind of like a jarring experience. Blackbear, obviously, and then the transition from his end back into the song, and it was just, oh god. And then the power at the end of the song, like after that, it was just a climax. It was like, oh god, what a story. All right, on to the next one. Definitely, probably, I mean, Kelly says every song's her favorite, and I mean, I have to agree, but I would say this one's my favorite only because I think I've listened to it 1,000 times to get Blackbear's rap down.
Yeah,
but it really is an amazing song, even if, like, I guess lyrically I can't relate to it, and it definitely has just so much power, and, like, seriously, like, cool, like, emo spooky vibes, maybe because they're talking about monsters, but the music makes me feel like I'm, like, Scooby-Dooing down a hallway of a haunted house,
Dude, the lyric video, the cartoons that they drew are amazing. It's
so
literally
cool.
Alex.
Yeah.
It's great because it's Alex running around and getting chased by a bunch of monsters, and then, like, the bridge, it shows the other three bandmates as skeletons playing their, like, shit.
Well, I actually, when we talk about Pretty Venom, I have thoughts about the animation in Monster, so, but anyways, continue.
Oh, okay. Want to have anything else, so we can move on to Pretty Venom?
The interlude.
Yes. It's an interlude, so obviously it's a different vibe from, like, normal All-Time Low vibes. Like, even their, like, slower acoustic songs don't match up with this. Like, these lyrics are real hard and, like, aggressive for, like, a slower song. But I definitely think that, like, reputations to come to interludes is like, oh, it's a throwaway song. Like, no, like, this song is awesome. Like, I love this song, and the fact that it has, like, interlude attached to it, I feel like does it injustice. Like, people kind of usually are, like, pass over interludes. Or, like Blink-182, not their most recent album, but I think it was California. Their interlude is literally them just going, ooh, and something about pooping in a pool or something. Like, it's literally 10, 15 seconds, versus this is, like, a full-ass song, which was amazing.
Well, I mean, that's completely, I agree with that. Like, for me, I don't want to say skipped it, but I kind of tuned out when it came on because of the interlude. Like, for me, I also thought about Mariana's Trench, Astoria. They have a couple of, like, interlude moments in there where it's the music kind of just flows one song into the next. So as I was listening to it, I was expecting to kind of go into the next song, and yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of, like, wish I don't think I gave this one enough of a chance yet. I think I need to listen to it a couple more times, but what I really liked about this song was how different it was structurally to the first half of the album. Like, the first half of the album is, like, absolute, like, it's so high energy, like, you're just, like, going, and there's so much, like, build up, and in the first, like, 7 songs, there's a lot of, like, build up, and then, like, it's, like, verse, chorus, bridge, and then, like, this build up in the bridge, and then it drops to the last chorus. And that structure, I feel like, that's, like, pretty, like, typical classic all-time low structure of a song, but, like, that is kind of how the first half of the album felt, and then this interlude kind of resets your mind. Yeah, it resets you.
I also love how the lyrics are so, like, I mean, All Time Low is known for their, like, play on words and whatever thing, but the, like, the main lyric of the chorus being, like, fucking with my head will give my heart attack. Like, the juxtaposition is probably not the right word for it. The
juxtaposition.
Just the play on words, the fun, like, verbiage that they use is just so great, and it just, I don't know, it really hits home.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, it hits home, but I mean, I think for me, it's also I still haven't given it enough of a chance because I'm still really unsure about how to feel about it. I mean, Alex said it was one of those songs where let's write some weirdos, and it's definitely a weirdo for sure.
They wrote it at 3 a.m. after the bar on 4th of July, drunk as hell.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's awesome.
It's gonna cause some waves.
But yeah, I mean, for me, like, it could have something to do, like I said before, with the animated Monsters lyric video, but it gave me a little bit of a Gorillaz vibe, you know, with the animated. Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, I think it's partly the song, but like also partly the animated video for Monsters. But I mean, it definitely is great as an interlude, and like Kelly said, it's a good reset, and it keeps the vibe of Monsters, but it switches your mindset for the rest of the album. And I think for me, if it was a different album, I'd be feeling it more. Just overall, for this album, maybe not.
Yeah, and I caught I think an Easter egg in this one too, when there was a line about trap like rats inside a maze, and that felt like a reference back to
Don't Panic, right?
Reckless and the Brave, yeah. Little rats running mazes.
Yes, there it is.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Okay, I'm kind of sad I didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that I made Michelle a whole freaking montage, not montage, what's the word?
Reckless and the Brave.
Collage, that's what I'm looking for. Well, no, before she moved to California, I made her a shadow box of pictures of us, and it says, "Long live the reckless and the brave."
I have it right here.
We'll post a picture of it on our Instagram at the Moshpit Pod.
So, you know, we've passed the interlude and we're into the back half of the album now, and so favorite place. So like I said, I could say that any of these songs are my favorites, but favorite place definitely holds a very special place in my heart. I don't know particularly why, I guess. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with like those big moments things I was talking about before, and you know, so I was in it from second zero. Like, I love the opening. It was so different because it was kind of Mumford & Sons like to me, a little folky rock, and then it kind of drove its way perfectly back into pop punk. And I mean, I've actually, like I said before, when we were talking about Band Camino in music news, I've never listened to them, but I think that's kind of their vibe a little bit. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
well, I haven't listened to them. I was agreeing. Yeah, I've never listened to them, but they're. I'm a fan.
Yeah. No, their guest vocals was perfect. They're smooth, and it gave a great change up by giving us a break from Alex's voice. It made it all have more of an impact for me. And full disclosure to our listeners, that I already shared with Brianne and Kelly the other day, about a week after it was released, I'd already listened to it quite a few times. I was listening to it and I started crying out of nowhere. I just really felt that song in that moment. And it wasn't really an emotion that I could really nail down. It was just a lot of really abstract feelings. And yeah, I don't know. It was, I guess, for me, it's important to me in that light. Because I guess for me, people are kind of what keeps me going. My friends, my family. And you know what, guys? You are my favorite place.
Aww. You're so corny.
I know, but it's cute, right?
And I'm gonna go completely left turn on this one. Conspiracy theory part 3.
Oh God, here we go.
The lyrics really hurting me in this quarantine right now. Specifically, the "close the space between us." It's the distance we don't need, motherfucker.
We need it. We need it.
We need the goddamn distance. So there's that.
That's hilarious.
Also, like, the opening guitar riff kind of reminds me of some other bands, and I cannot place it for the life of me. Right now I have Mayday Parade ? The Academy Is ? And I can't goddamn place it, but it reminds me of another pop punk band, just the guitar riff itself. Anyways, but yeah, it was just
interesting.
That's my 2 cents. I'm the resident conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. I think I have an unpopular opinion about this song, but it was not one of my favorites.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
I mean, it was good, but it's not one of the top.
Right. I'm absolutely not saying this is a bad song. Like, it's a great song. I'm just saying in comparison to every other song on this album, I don't love it as much. I think so, and I like can't really place why, because I like the feature. I like what's his name? Spencer from the band Camino. I think that's his name. Yeah. I like his voice. I think it fits very well. I think though it was like a little bit like drowned out. I don't know, like how I was talking about for Monsters.
Loud in comparison.
Yeah, so I was saying for Monsters, like I really wanted Blackbear on a chorus in addition to the verse, and like that's what they did in Favorite Place. Like Spencer had his own verse, and then he was also on the following chorus, and I just feel like it was like very drowned out. I don't know. It's not like I don't like the song. Like I like the song. I just, in comparison to some of the others, I just like didn't like this one as much musically.
I understand.
I guess, but you're wrong.
I know. I'm sorry. I know that was going to be an unpopular opinion because you like that one so much.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. On to track number 10. We are getting deep into this album.
Cruising.
Track number 10 is Safe, and this, on the other hand, was one of my favorites. It is, I think, so very pop punk. And the drop on that chorus is just like, it just gives me life. Like that, the verse leading into the chorus when it drops is just like absolutely amazing. And also, Michelle just talked about one of the times she cried while listening to this album. I also cannot explain really why I cried to this song, but I was obviously, quarantined in my home and listening to this song, and the chorus dropped at the same time that like my dishwasher dropped. Like I don't know, like
wait, your dishwasher has a bass drop, like
well, it like it's just kind of slow, like you hear the water and then it's like
yeah, it takes that pause.
Yeah. And it just like dropped at the same time, and I was like, this is my life, this is where I'm safe, this is it. And I don't know, it just really hit me, and I started crying. So that was my crying moment of this album. But in general, I think this is a really catchy, classic pop punk song. And so my take on this one is that it's kind of like a connecting point between a lot of messages that have been referenced throughout the album. So there's a line that says, when you find that place and it only lasts for a minute. So I think that's referencing the previous song, Favorite Place. Like, yeah, you found that favorite place, but it's not going to last forever. And I also think it was like an interesting juxtaposition to Getaway Green, because Getaway Green was kind of like, you're my escape, like, let's run away together kind of vibe. And then this is like, I'm running away. I'm like getting in the car and putting it in drive and not stopping until I'm long gone. And it just felt like those three songs like had a really like linear connection in some way. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, honestly, for me, this album, there are songs that kind of stand out in that they're not part of the album, but then other songs are just so like that cohesiveness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I agree, this is definitely one of them. And for me, this song was a little bit of like Maroon 5 meets pop punk, and there was something more specific in my brain of like Maroon 5 meets, but like that's not coming forward. I can't quite figure it out. But it's also a song that's giving me the most like Last Young Renegade vibes. And in the best way possible, because I know a lot of people were not fans of Last Young Renegade, even though I loved that album. I absolutely loved it. And again, it reminds me of a lot that I can't really nail down, and maybe it's because, again, maybe Past Me relates to it. Like this would have been 2014, Michelle ready to run away to California.
Yeah.
But like, I guess, right, like, with quarantine right now, I'm just ready to get in my car and just drive all over as soon as this is all over. Because, and maybe it is because they're talking about cars, but it really just feels like another windows down in your car kind of song. So that's how I feel.
Literally, literally the song gave me, like, out of all of them, like, the most teen angsty vibes. Like, Brianne in high school would fucking have rocked out to this. Like, it kind of reminds me of how I felt right before I left for college. Like, I'm scared, I'm sad, but also get me the fuck out of here. So it just, yeah, that's, the song hit me for that.
Kind of like a little bit of a Weightless vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next track is January Gloom. Just a shout out, this song goes out to every Northeasterner, like Northwesterner who's had to deal with social or seasonal affect disorder. Yeah, seasonal affect disorder, because
It's real.
I always thought it was bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. Living in New England, I'm like, it's fine, get over it. And then I moved to Florida and I was like, holy fuck, the sun actually does put you in a better mood. And now that I have the sun all the goddamn time, I'm like, oh, life is so much nicer now. So it honestly is a real thing, and it's horrible. So Alex talked about how he wrote this song when it was just like a shitty day and he didn't want to deal with anything. So this was like what came out of it, because he had never dealt with like the shitty weather for long periods of time and whatnot. I personally really liked like the steady beat of the song, like the whole thing. It's one of those songs, like, even if you don't know the words, you can like nod your head to it and like really get into it. I love, don't get me wrong, like, I love the headbanging songs. You're getting really into it and you're like in the crowd and rocking out, but like, this is a really good song for, like, if they were to play it live, it would be a middle of the show, like right before they go into like the slow song part of the show. Like, I feel like it's a good, like, de-escalating the mood kind of song, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
So, yeah. I was a real big fan, but yeah, the listening to it, I was just like, oh my god, everyone who lives in California is like, I don't get why this song is sad, and everyone else is just like, you understand my plight.
Yeah. It's like, it's so real. Like, I definitely get seasonal depression when that time of year comes around. It's just like so hard to like live your life in the same way as you do when the sun's out all the time. And it probably sounds really weird to people that don't have to deal with that aspect, but it's, I mean, I definitely feel that a lot. And something I noticed in this song is it really connected back to Missing You on Future Hearts. There was the chorus kind of has the same melody as that, when it like the part in Missing You that says hiding in your room. So I feel like those messages kind of like connect a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like you said, it related back to Missing You. For me, this song felt like it could have been on Future Hearts, but with some like nothing personal vibes. And, you know, it's definitely one of the songs for me that gave it all like a really cohesive feeling, because it kind of brings back those melancholy kaleidoscope themes, like, you know, because that one also kind of felt, you know, the seasonal depression a bit, well, like what Alex was feeling at the time, and it reminded me of stuff, but you know, it's something specific that it reminded me of, but I cannot pin it down. I mean, we're seeing a pattern here for me that I'm reminded of things a lot, but I can't figure out what. But it did definitely give me, like, the opening guitar had major early, like, 2000 pop punk vibes. And, you know, I liked it, but overall, though, it was just one of the more songs on the album for me. It didn't really do it for me.
I think so. Something we like for some reason haven't mentioned at all, Alex's voice in these songs, like this one was one of the ones I like wrote a note down for, but like in like even like Trouble Is, but like all throughout the album, his vocals are just like so amazing. Like he's so on point, and like you can tell like how much I feel like he's improved and like can hit some of these notes that like I don't feel like he would have felt confident doing maybe a couple years ago, but his vocals on this album are just outstanding.
And I think he poured a lot more emotion into it. And like, I know it was it's the album that's just come out, so obviously they're feeling it a lot more, but he did rank this as his favorite out of all their albums. And but I think it, you know, that is shown in the actual album itself, because there's just so much poured into it. There's so much emotion, feeling, and everything. So
Yeah.
So next track is Clumsy. And I was excited to hear about this because, you know, Alex said it could fit in with Nothing Personal. But I didn't really feel that. I felt like a lot more of the other songs on the album, like Trouble Is, for example, and like I said, January Gloom had some Nothing Personal vibes to it. But despite it not being what I expected, hearing that Alex said it could have been on Nothing Personal, it was still an absolute banger. And this one is also one of my favorites. The chorus makes me want to dance in my underwear in front of my mirror with a hairbrush microphone with all the angst of my teen years. You know, like, do you not get that same vibe?
That's an image. That's an image.
You like it.
Maybe.
I wrote down groovy in all caps. Groovy. This song is groovy.
The voice echoes were like real great.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of top 40 vibes, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, but you know what, for me, you know, you guys were talking about songs that you're like looking forward to seeing live. This is one that I'm looking forward to seeing live because first of all, I love the bridge. It brings you down just to build you back up, and then you go really hard, ready to open up the pit on that last chorus. And I'm so stoked to like be in the crowd for this one.
Yeah, I think, so you were talking about how Alex said it could fit on Nothing Personal. I think I agree with what you said. Like, some of the other songs actually fit a little bit better with the Nothing Personal vibe, but what I thought the connection was like the message. Like, this song was like the same exact message pretty much as Break Your Little Heart.
Yeah, totally.
And that's kind of like the theme of the song, like feels like it could fit on Nothing Personal. And the sound maybe a little bit, but it kind of had its own thing for sure. It was pretty poppy. And one of the co-writers or co-producers of the song was Max Martin. And he actually was worked with like Backstreet Boys, Britney, NSYNC. So I think that's where some of that influence may come from, but it was interesting to hear kind of that intersection. But I think this was one of their more like poppy jams on the album.
Also, we've been talking about like callback lyrics. At one point they say dropping bombs on futures past.
Yeah.
All I think of is like, is this a shot at Future Hearts? Of like,
or it could be dropping bombs on Future's past, Dirty Work, because they thought Dirty Work was gonna catapult them into superstardom, and it was a little bit meh, because it was their future past. We're reading way too into it now.
Yeah, I think so.
I literally just went for like Future Hearts, Futures Past, like word association. You do it deep in the barrel.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this was definitely one of my favorite ones. And I think the guys actually in the live stream said some of them said what their favorites was. And Zach said Clumsy was his favorite. And, you know, guys, I have a very soft spot for Zach Merrick. So, you know, we're connected that way. Anyways, next track is Glitter and Crimson. And this is another song that I don't think I gave up the proper chance the first few listens to. I definitely kind of, you know, you're getting to the end of the album, you're not necessarily emotionally exhausted, but you've really kind of, the other songs have taken up a lot of, you know, your mental space, so you kind of maybe tune out a little bit, and I think that's what kind of happened to me with Glitter and Crimson. I had to give it like its own like space for me, and I'm actually really hoping to hear this acoustically live. I think it could be a new Remembering Sunday, because it really it really filled up my heart again, like Sleeping In did. You know, I feel this right now in these moments of my life. It's like a really big moment song again for me, and just the bridges on this album are so dope.
Oh my god,
this one slaps. Yeah, I fucking said it. It slaps.
I need the chorus to be only sung by the crowd.
Yeah, oh my god, we have like the same exact mind.
Like, don't even pretend that let's start a riot. Like, how do you not just hear the crowd singing that with no one else? There's nothing, just dead silent. Like,
literally, I cannot wait to like scream this song with a crowd of people. Like, it's just
yes, absolutely.
I want to so bad.
Okay, I think that was my one note. Oh no, I also said that I said that the song title reminded me of Harry Potter because all I saw was glitter and crimson, which was Gryffindor's colors, even though glitter is not a color. That was the rabbit hole my brain went down by the end of this album of a listen through when I was taking notes, so yeah.
I totally relate to that. I can see it.
I have like...
Oh, and my other note was, it's hard to sit still while your head's on fire. Literally describes my entire industry working in the news.
Fair. I have like a kind of an interesting take. I feel like this was the point in the album where I was like trying to look for things, like look for Easter eggs and like find stuff. So first line, 3 a.m, and I was like thinking back to Stella, where it talks about like 2 a.m. bathroom floor kind of stuff. And I was like, is this like the fallout of Stella? And like the song itself is like kind of talking about like a messy like parting of ways. It feels like, I guess, a little bit. And I don't know. I just kind of connected that for some reason, where like with Stella and I think the times of the morning thing kind of got me, but I feel like at this point in the album I was like really digging. I was like, I just really want to find all the Easter eggs.
All of the Easter eggs.
I totally see what you mean, but for me, see, like I said, like it was for me like a big moment thing, you know, happy in my relationship and everything.
Yeah.
And I interpret it a little bit differently. Like I didn't feel like it was a parting of the ways. I felt like it was like, I want us to not kind of, I don't want to wait till the sunshine fades. I don't want to wait till later to, you know, enjoy this. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, we're going to be happy once we do this, once we do that. I want to be happy in the moment. I want to be happy with you in the present. I want, you know, this, you know,
setting milestones.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, like fixed on a moment, just out of focus. No, you'll get there when you get there. Right now.
Like a kaleidoscope.
Exactly. It's right now what matters. Ooh, tying it back.
Well, now that Michelle and I are in our like end of our 20s, the amount of people who I know who are our age or like a little bit older who are like freaking out, like, I need to be married, I need to have kids, that's how my life is going to be satisfied. Like, I used to be that person who was like, I need to be married by this age, I want to have kids by this. Now I'm just like, it'll happen when it happens. I just want to be happy, and that's exactly what this song is.
I agree.
I like that.
So, the penultimate song on the album is Summer Days. And, first of all, I absolutely love that it's, you know, like the play on words. It's days, like, you know, you're dazed and confused, but like days, like, you know, it's a day. Well, yeah.
Nice.
But
D-A-Z-E.
But I mean,
D-I-Y-S.
it's definitely relatable because, like, you know, I used to, in my early 20s, when I was first out of college, I would be like, haha, you know, like back like my college days with D-A-Z-E. I'm pretty sure that was actually an Instagram caption on my profile at one point.
I really want to deep dive and see if I can find it.
I think I know exactly which picture it is, too. But it really did give me another song that gave me Last Young Renegade vibes. And, you know, as much as I think they tried to pull away from it, I think, you know, there was still some left over from that. I mean, and I think even into their side projects, I think they pulled in some of their Last Young Renegade into it. So it's kind of something that's, like, still trailing behind them. And I love it. At the open, mostly for me, the Last Young Renegade vibes. But after that, it kind of went a little bit more poppy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it was definitely this one and a bunch more off the album that could go mainstream. This album to me was a little bit more poppy, but I think that's because, you know, it ties in with that whole sunshine vibe, and I think this song, it's very notable. And I haven't, you know, Kelly's been the one that's been mentioning all the like throwbacks to previous songs, but and previous albums. And you too, Brie. Sorry, but I think it's Kelly Moore.
I was like, rude. One of them was mine. I had one.
But
Kelly's just way more astute than I am. God damn it.
I have 2 more for this song.
But,
Don't worry.
Oh my god.
There was a shout out to Break Out on this one, and I really loved that throwback because when I first found All Time Low, that was one of my favorites because it was just reminiscent of me and my friends, back then living our youth, and that's kind of, I think, the vibe of this song as well.
So since I already just said this, I'll share the 2 Easter eggs that I felt through this song. First one was the line that said, "Soak it up like flowers growing through concrete."
Ooh.
That's totally got to be a Cinder Block Garden
100%. Wow.
reference. And so you said Last Young Renegades. I felt like this could kind of fit on Future Hearts a little bit too. Like I don't know. I kind of got like a Future Hearts vibe from it for some reason. But regardless, the other Easter egg I kind of felt was more like about the message of the song. So the way that Alex talked about January Gloom and Summer Days in 2 parts, like seasons 1 and 2, was for January Gloom, like it's talking about, is this time ever going to end? Like, is this season ever going to end? And then Summer Days is more like, I don't want this to ever end. And that brought me like way back to So Wrong It's Right and The Beach.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's a great reference.
So that's like kind of how I felt listening to this song. Like, you don't ever want the summer to end, and like that's what the beach was about too. So that's how I made that connection. But it also is making me just think about Sad Summerfest and how much fun this song would be at Sad Summerfest. And it's making me sad a little bit that may not happen, but we'll see.
So literally my only 2 notes on this song were about how it reminds me of other songs. So the first chord reminds me of the beginning of I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness.
I dig.
The
Okay.
like those first 2 chords, I was like, yeah. So there's that, and then this is where the used comes back into play. The bridge of this song reminds me of the beginning of The Taste of Ink, the da, 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 like this kind of, like that, like cadence reminds me of the bridge in this song.
And I actually think, I don't know if it was this song, but I think Alex did mention that
during the live stream,
that they were a little bit inspired by the used on it, because because didn't he say he likes
it was an homage?
Yeah, he said
it wasn't Alex, it was Ryan. I think said that it was an homage to that song because that was like one of the songs they used to listen to when they were growing up, kind of a thing. Well, growing up, but like
nice. And I think they said they almost like basically stole the melody and they had to be like, hey, can we like use this?
Yeah.
I feel like this was one of the ones I feel like I need to give that one a couple more listens.
Yeah, I agree. The second half of the album I need to pay attention more to. Like I feel like
I think so too.
The first chunk.
Well, because we had more time with the first chunk. We still definitely need to give the second half a little bit more of a listen. I definitely agree.
I think so too. Well, to close it out, the closing song on Wake Up Sunshine is Basement Noise, and it's sort of an ode to All Time Low's past and their beginnings and how they used to have band practice in Ryan's parents' basement. So I love like the message of this song, and the chorus itself so hooky and catchy, and it's just like you can easily just sing along. I found myself singing along to the chorus like on the first chorus when I didn't even know what the words were. Like I just like found myself humming, and then the second time I was singing the words already. It's like that's how hooky it was. I have one gripe with this song, and it's not even like a bad gripe. It's just like it's so good and I want it to be better. And what it is the ending, like the very last like outro to this song is
the
Alex's harmony? So his harmony is awesome, like it's great, but I was just like praying for some gang vocals at the end. Like I wanted everyone, like the whole entire band, like everyone just screaming those words. Like I just wanted those gang vocals.
Now that you say that, I'm just like, oh, fuck, you're right.
Sorry.
That was like one of my pros was like the harmony at the end is so great.
But yeah, like Will I'll Be on the main on Can't Stop Won't Stop? It fades out with
yes,
that's what you want.
Yeah,
exactly that.
Yeah, I totally agree. That definitely could have.
I wanted it so bad.
Definitely could have improved the song like that much more. Because I think it's fantastic. I love kind of the full circle we came, because they're talking. It's like an homage to where they came from and everything, and it comes full circle from like some kind of disaster. At that point, it's like being all like, "Are you ready to dig in with us again? Are you ready to kind of let's do this?" And then it's like, because now look at us, like where we've come from, where we were, and with Summer Days, I talked about kind of, for me, it was reminiscent of my youth, and this kind of, because it's reminiscent of their youth, and like we've said before, we've grown up with them, so it brings me back to that for me as well.
It's also like super reminiscent of my youth solely because not even in high school, it was like all through my childhood, my parents had a finished off basement, and that's where like the kids would hang out, and we'd had our PlayStation down there and all our games, and like if I had sleepovers, we had a pull out couch down there. So like thinking about, like, obviously this is referring to their like band practice, but even just thinking about like being younger, like hiding out in a basement, getting yelled at by your parents to shut up, like that was
absolutely.
my entire
That's exactly
childhood.
What I was thinking
like
too.
Like you guys have both met my dad. He's the sweetest guy, but also insane. And when I just like, it literally flashed me back to when I was, I want to say in like 7th grade. I had my birthday party. I had sleepover. I had like 6 girls over, and my dad dressed up as like Chef Nonk. He like draped a towel over his arm and was like butler. So he would like come down and be like, "Ladies, what can I get?" Like stupid shit like that. And then like the second it was like too late, Chef Nonk went away and was like, "All right, we're done. Like shut up, go to bed." Like that was
time to wrap it up.
That song brought me back to that. Like, yeah, like that was how like it just kind of, it just really hit home, because like my parents' basement holds all of like my formative year memories.
Yeah.
So just
we need to do like a parody of it, and like basement noise and like girls and whatever, sleepovers and things.
Yes.
Coming to you soon from the Moshpit. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a great way to end the album for sure.
Agreed.
So that's the album. Overall, I loved it. I think Wake Up Sunshine is what Future Hearts should have been. I'm getting the same vibes of it throughout the whole album, but with the best parts of Nothing Personal, Don't Panic, and Last Young Renegade. And, I think some of which I would like to see more of in the future, the collaborations. I think those were some of the strongest on the album. Like you guys said, you wanted more of Blackbear, you wanted more of the band Camino. And, I think as we talked it through, the whole album took me to these other times in my life, and it was like a journey, and fuck, I really enjoyed the shit out of it, And while I really love the album, I wonder if there's more of past me relating to it more than current me. Because, like while I've unwillingly grown up, I feel kind of, and this is where it might get controversial, All Time Low maybe musically hasn't. Their sound may have changed a little, but I think it's still a little, yeah, exactly. And so maybe that's why past me related to it more than current me. And I mean, there definitely are those big moments for me, but like I said, I still love the whole album, but maybe it just hasn't impacted me as much as some of the others have. I don't know, maybe I needed more time with it, but regardless, I love it a lot.
I think, so I also loved the album. Overall, I think it was, I'm kind of on a different point, I think, than you, Michelle. I think this was like extremely mature for All Time Low, as far as like they like the messaging and messages, I guess, across all of these songs, I feel like were conveyed in a more mature way than they have been in the past, with like the juxtaposition of all the emotions and feelings like across these songs. It was like they really like gave us a roller coaster of emotions, and not only emotions but like melodies across the album. And I think it was also very all time low, but like the best of all time low when it comes to guitar, drum, and bass, and even Alex's vocals. Like I think every piece of it, like every piece of the band, like fit really, really well together on this album, and it made it like so like quintessential all time low in pop punk.
I think that this album brings out the best of all time low. And it also, they bring a new nuance to all the songs. Like, yeah, they've always been really good at the play on words and all this kind of stuff, but I feel like the subtle things you really have to like listen to and pay attention to the lyrics and really intensely look for is way more intense and hidden and whatnot in comparison to their previous albums, versus like their older stuff is very much like, here's some fun words, but here's the in-the-face message behind it. This is kind of like, you can interpret things a lot more ways. That's why I kind of think it is more mature, but like I definitely see the vibe still being in their old stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I see definitely where you guys are coming from, where it and that's why I said it's a little controversial, because it's like both at the same time. It's like, you know, like regressive, but also progressive for them at the same time. It's you know what? They are a contradiction. So nobody can be all time low except all time low. Not even all time low can be all time low.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm a big fan regardless. I'm definitely going to continue to be listening to this over and over, especially this summer, as the weather gets nicer and I can really just, you know, my seasonal depression goes away and I can get rid of the January gloom and get into that summer days.
How many album titles can you fit into one sentence?
Let me try. Okay. I'm going to have to think about it, though. I'll get back to you.
Okay, we'll save it for next week. Everyone, we'll start the next episode with it. We'll have a competition. The three of us will each come up with them and see how many. It's not just subject to this album. Let's do all time low.
Oh, God.
Forever.
I could write a whole
take
story.
me like 5 weeks. I'm going to need some time.
But, like, not a crazy run-on sentence. Like, it has to be a legit, like, make
just
sense.
Just a sentence, or can I write a whole story?
Can I pass?
No. Let's keep it to 3 sentences.
All right, well, that is all we have for you this time around, because we just rambled on and on about Wake Up Sunshine. There will be no band spotlight this week, but tune in 2 weeks from now, because we are bi-weekly on Sundays for the next band spotlight. Remember, follow us at the Moshpit Pod on Facebook and Instagram, at Moshpit Pod on Twitter, because some asshole stole at the Moshpit Pod. That is all. Do you guys have any last thoughts and words?
Keep calm and mosh on.
Oh, very wise.
Mosh on, everybody.